Hey y'all, it's an experimental series that I'm working on where I review older stuff that are currently still available in the market and how they fade over the years. And today we have the Elite Ops, a gamepad from the company Amkette. I can confirm this is how it felt when I was unboxing it in 2023. It's almost 2.5 years now. Purchased it from an offline store for 1200. That's already about a couple hundreds lesser than the online counterparts. It's still available on Amazon and Flipkart for 1500, including Amket's own home website, which you can be purchased for, and you could add a coupon code to it to get it for lesser. Weird enough, Zepto has it for 1400. This was supposed to be for my brother, and since he's upgraded to an EvoFox One S that was earlier this month, now it's time for him to move on, and we decided to just sell this thing. But it's still working fine. It's still working despite the caveats. Most of the caveats are just age related, but as it looks, it still hasn't shown its age at all. And there's no regrets purchasing this when the offline seller had mentioned this is the toughest we could buy. Speaking of no regrets and tough, that's what the shopkeeper suggested when I mentioned my brother is capable of dropping things. He hasn't got that proper grip. The hand-eye coordination thing isn't nifty. So this was the right choice. He's dropped it plentiful of times, plenty number of times, and it's always stayed on the top of its condition. It still hasn't broken anything physically, and it suits people who maybe rage quit or something, or pre-rage quit when they start breaking stuff. This is perfect, but I do not recommend doing that to anything that you own. I don't recommend doing that. But why is it available for 1500 even after, say, 3 to 4 years since its release? Maybe it has to do because it's tough. It's tough, and that's the reason the build quality is really tough. It's very, very durable, and that's probably the only reason you can go for this. Because a couple hundreds, 100 more than this, and you get the EvoFox One S, the one that you can see right now. Another couple hundreds more, and you'll get the EvoFox X2, if I'm spelling the name right. That's even better. Even the triggers are Hall effect magnets on that. And those have multiple connectivity options, including wired. This one does not support wired connection. Anything other than the USB receiver, it cannot support. Say even if you wanted to use this on a TV, you do have USB ports on a TV. You don't have it. It's not required that it has to be a smart TV, but you could plug it in anything that supports a USB-A and it would work. I don't mean power banks or wall outlets, not them, sorry. And the USB-A to USB-C converter, should you have it, you can even use it on a smartphone or a tablet, anything Android, and it just works. But it does not support anything wireless other than the receiver. EvoFox's own other options, a few hundreds above this price, have a lot more accuracy than this. The only reason you could go for it for 1500 or maybe not is because it's durable. That's about it. The competition has much better specifications, even on paper and off paper. They may feel better, but they have been intentionally made as to not reflect that toughness. They're not tough, just not durable. And I have not been using it. I'm not a gamer, or even when I do game, that's very rare. I always use the keyboard and mouse because that's the one you see on the screen. That's my go-to. Every time it's always precise, no matter what, even if it's for a little while that I game. It's got to be that. I'm not a fan of gamepads. It's only for my brother actually. So accuracy wasn't exactly a matter. I guess it shouldn't for you too, because if you plan on doing FPS on a gamepad, I wish you luck. That's not what gamepads are meant for. You can do FPS, but if precision is what you care about, that will have to be thrown out of the window for sure. It's not going to be precise. Gamepads are never precise. They're quite relaxing for anything that's a simulator, or say for racing games. Suits those actually. It suits that very, very well. And specification wise, on the box it mentions it's 400 milliamp hertz, even on the website, and the user manual it mentions 400 milliamp hertz. Same goes for the EvoFox One S as well, but on the devices themselves, on the underside, it mentions it's 500 milliamp hertz. There's inaccuracies in even the specification, which is weird actually. Inaccuracies are supposed to indicate that they're trying to hide something, but here the devices are much better than they have specified. That's weird, but the devices are actually better than what they have specified. So all of those numbers of falling rates and latencies for gamepads, I suggest you just ignore all of those numbers, because no matter what those limitations, you're still going to require even more precision than what any gamepad could offer for FPS or anything that's going to be correlative of online multiplayer. Not the single player mode. For single player wouldn't need all of that extra precision. So this would suffice for almost every single usage scenario. And it's grippy enough actually. You can even feel, knock on it and feel how tough it is, even with the build quality. The grip is quite good. So even if your hands are sweaty, it doesn't feel weird. The plastic is smooth and it's grippy, even if you grip it lightly. Now, the issue that I've had post 2 years, actually, that was about since the beginning of 2025, right? About January, the battery condition had degraded. Now, that's thanks to me that it happened, because I used a Samsung 25-watt charger on this to charge it. Sometimes, when that charger wasn't available, I'd use my other family members' 33-watt Xiaomi brick, and these are not recommended actually. That Xiaomi brick was twice the recommended wattage for this. What they recommend to charge wireless gamepads is through the PC, directly through USB, or to use a maximum of 18 watts, 15 watts to 18 watts charging adapter. That is the maximum you should ever go to, nothing beyond that. Else the battery degrades quite faster. Despite using a 25-watt charger since day one, this thing has lasted me 2 years, and the battery degrading was very, very noticeable that it started causing issues. This is what happened. It's okay until the battery is low, it disconnects. Whatever button you were last pressing is continuously pressed on the screen. Then again, just reach out, unplug it, plug it back in, then again play for about 15 minutes. Then it just happens again in a cycle over and over again until you charge it back. Charging is the solution to that. That issue persists, and there's no workaround to either just recharge it and just wear the battery out, or to replace the battery. My luck with EvoFox's support just weaned off. Gave up, and EvoFox's customer support wouldn't respond when I inquired with them to only replace the battery, because Gamepad is still perfect. There's no issues as such, even with wear and tear. Held quite good actually, but we couldn't replace the battery. Had to give up. Gave up, and my dad just got my brother a new one altogether. So there it is. We expect the newer one to fail, say, for the same 2 years from now. And even then, we don't expect EvoFox to help us, Amkette, to help us replace the battery or any other spare in this. That's going to be an issue. I just assume we shouldn't care. There's going to be newer models that are going to be coming in. We might as well just upgrade it. That's it. I expect the batteries or any other spare to be almost just as costly as getting a new one. So I think we didn't make a mistake buying a new one. So here it is. This worked for us. And that would be my recommendation for you guys as well. Okay, grand scheme of things, long story short, the toughness is all there is as a reason to go for this, nothing more. Anything else, there are better options like the EvoFox One S or like the EvoFox Elite X2. Now, those are superior in terms of. Okay, hang on. Before I mention that, this is the issue that I mentioned, the battery issue. Nothing works. It stops responding when the battery is low. And the only solution for this would be to unplug the USB receiver, plug it back in, and then just continue using it exactly like you see in the screen. So this is what happens every single time the battery is low. The only solution to that would be to charge up the device all over again. But that's a depreciation thing. That's inevitable, as all battery operated devices will end up in the same fate. Okay, to summarize, toughness is the only reason to go for this, and there's nothing special that sets it apart other than this. If you got someone, I wouldn't say a kid or your own kid, or if you're a kid, someone who's prone to dropping gamepads before, who's had a history of breaking or damaging gamepads that they have purchased or they were gifted to, and if you plan on giving them a costlier gamepad, and if you fear that they might do the same, it's best to go with this one, because this we've tried and tested to reassure you that this has been dropped plentiful of times all of those years, and this can take a hit and still emerge unfettered and undamaged. The only damage that this has faced is just depreciation on the battery side and the right trigger wearing out, because my brother has this really tight grip on the on anything he holds, be it a pen or a gamepad, and yet he still drops things. So there it was for a rough usage case scenario. This suited us perfectly. However, if you're not prone to doing that, there are better options, like I mentioned, and bump up a few hundreds above those better options that I've mentioned. You get the EvoFox Elite X2 Pro, which is a triple mode connectivity gamepad, along with everything. The X2 has the Hall effect triggers, the Hall effect joysticks, RGB for any of you fanatics. So, since my brother has moved on to the EvoFox One S, we're not sure how many times he's going to drop it and how long that's going to last. But it is evident that the EvoFox Elite Ops is a lot more durable. You can even see it here right now. So yeah, if you do want to see an EvoFox One S video, do write in the comment section below that you'd want to see that video, and I'll get started with making that video. And if there are any more suggestions on how to improve or any questions related to the EvoFox Elite Ops and the One S, do also write in the comment section and I'll respond instantly. Until then, I'll be seeing you all in the next video. Thanks for watching actually. Bye.